Today we're looking at one of the most epic ocarinas to be inspired by an anime, so stay tuned. What's up, amigos? My name is David, and today we're looking at the Tapion Ocarina by Celta. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know whenever I post a review, music video, or tutorial. So next to The Legend of Zelda's Ocarina of Time, this is probably one of the most epic ocarinas to be inspired by a fictional character or a movie. In this case, it was Dragon Ball Z's Wrath of the Dragon, which featured this ocarina, which was used by the character Tapion. Now, in the movie, it actually didn't look exactly like this one, but as a replica, a functional replica, the maker Celta out of Mexico did an excellent job just getting the basic features of what it's supposed to look like. So in the film, the ocarina actually has a just straight line of tone holes, but actually trying to play it like that is very difficult. So I appreciate that Celta tried to make it more ergonomic so that it fits more naturally with the way that you hold it. It is a 12-hole ocarina. As you can see, there is a sub-hole here for the right hand, middle finger, and also for the left hand, like so. So it is a Taiwanese style. I really appreciate the level of detail they put on the figure in the middle. I don't remember exactly from the movie what this character represents, but the level of detail that they put into it looks really beautiful. Also, from my understanding, I don't believe Celta uses molds, so you can see how much work they put into just sculpting the ocarina beautifully and making sure that it was as accurate as possible to the film. I love the glazes that they use. The glossy finish is really beautiful. The shape is a little bit awkward to hold, as you can see. It feels a little bit cramped for my fingers, especially the subholes. It feels a little bit weird. But after a little while of messing around with it and playing it, you get a little bit used to it. For smaller hands, it would definitely be more comfortable, but I have larger hands, so that's a bit of a problem for me. Onto the sound. This one's really interesting because I've never seen an ocarina that has this triangular shape. Teardrop is the closest I've seen, which is more of an oval shape, especially on the bottom. But this ocarina has more of a triangle shape, as you can see here, which creates a very interesting tone. It's a very soft tone, and it takes a very low amount of breath. It's a little more quieter, especially on the low end, but what I noticed is that after the first 5 or 6 notes, when you get up to around the A, G part of the range, there's a steep breath slope. And I feel like compared to the bottom, it takes a lot more air to reach to the top, but probably about a 30 to 40% increase in air. So the other thing to note is that because it requires such a low amount of air on the low notes, when you play those subholes, you're barely whispering into it. So it's just very softly breathing to get those 2 low notes in tune. But the rest of the range is pretty moderate in terms of breath support. I think it would have been fine, especially aesthetically, if they left this as a 10-hole. It didn't really require the 2 lowest subholes, but I also really like that even though the 2 lowest subholes aren't very usable because of that drastic breath change, the high end is very nice. You could use the acute bend to improve the tone a little bit, but it doesn't need it, which is really nice. To recap, this is a beautiful replica. As a Dragon Ball Z fan, this is an amazing addition to the collection. I do wish it didn't have such a drastic breath slope in the middle part of the range, but the tone is really nice. It's very well tuned, and once you get used to that lower part of the range, it can play very, very nicely. That's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and let me know in the comments down below what other reviews you would like to see in the future. A very special thank you to my patrons for making these episodes possible, and if you'd like to help support these reviews as well, don't forget to check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/docjust4, where you can grab backtracks, sheet music, MP3s, one-on-one lessons, and a whole bunch of other rewards, so thank you for checking that out. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and until the next review, I hope you all have an amazing week. I'll see you then.